space, justice is a long way away.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Space Game Junkie podcast. Before I introduce my co-host, I want to apologize for taking the last couple of weeks off. There was construction going on in my apartment, which made it impossible to record, and some of us have been having technical issues. So we're actually missing two people today because of both technical and health issues. So we have a reduced crew. We're going to try something a little different, which hopefully will fill up the time and be entertaining. So joining us is your co-host, Julie.
Hello from the great green north, where it's still summer despite the fact that it's September. Yay, believe the science.
Yay, global warming? Yes.
Yeah, yay when you still have peppers that have to ripen.
I guess there are some positives to the Earth warming to well beyond where it should. Also joining us is your co-host Jacob.
Spin the wheel, I guess.
That's what we're gonna do. And your co-host David.
The Wheel of Fortune or something. I don't know.
Sadly we're missing Spaz and Thorsten today. They are both having issues, and so they can't join us. But hopefully next week we'll be back with a full crew. But this week we're going to do something a little different. I've been wanting to do something for this for quite a while. We couldn't come up with a topic because it's kind of hard to come up with a topic sometimes. And so Julie gave us a list of 32 topics. And I'm looking at these, I'm like, I can't choose one. Will we get a whole hour out of any of these? I don't know. So we're going to try a thing where we spin a wheel and pick a topic at random, and then we'll talk about that until we run out of steam with that one, and then move on to the next one. Found this great tool.
Congratulations! You get to watch us officially scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Come on, we've done worse. Wait, have we?
True.
I don't know. Maybe we have, but I've actually been wanting to do something like this for a while. I think it's kind of a fun. To me, it seems fun. Maybe no one else does, but to no one else it does. But to me, it seems like a fun idea. So we have 32 topics, and we're using a site called wheelofnames.com, which is very handy. Once you spin the wheel and it chooses one, it takes it out of the rotation automatically. Really nice. Hey, Chris. So let's spin the wheel and see what our first topic is. Ooh, it has sound effects. What's your favorite game? Well, I mean, for me, obviously, it's Starfleet 2, Krell Commander. I mean, everyone.
Haven't we done that one already?
Everyone knows that. What's your favorite game? Have we done that already? I don't know. Maybe.
Sounds familiar.
Hey, we have? Well, let's just do it again real quick. Just run down. Julie, what's your favorite game? Real quick.
My favorite game, depending on genre, is still Skyrim, because it has a lot of replayability. And I think my favorite space game, believe it or not, is still Star Trek Online.
Oh, wow. All right.
And yes, I still play it from time to time.
I wish I could play a version of Star Trek Online that's just the ship stuff. That's really all I want. Chris, no, you always have to do away missions. You can't just do the spaceship stuff. There's always away missions to do. It's like, I don't want to do any of that stuff.
There is a way to do it.
There is?
Yes, there is.
Okay, I'll have to talk to you offline about that. Chris mentions Age of Wonders 4. I keep hearing how good that is. I wasn't enamored with Planetfall, so I was like, I don't know about 4, but I keep hearing it's good.
I mean, I played both and I enjoyed it, but I see why people wouldn't.
Jacob, what is your favorite game?
I don't know, honestly. That's a very hard question.
That's fine. If you don't have one, you don't have one. I mean, there are literally thousands of games. Like, sometimes it's hard to pick just one. You know, I get it.
I have played too many games in my life, and I don't think I can name one, like, super favorite.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Do you have a favorite right now? Like, what's your go-to right now, would you say?
Go-to right now... I mean, I would possibly have to go with Nebulous.
Oh, yeah.
Nebulous Fleet Command.
That's a very Jacob game. It is
a very me game. It is an extremely me game.
It is a very Jacob game.
I would argue purpose-built to be a me game in some aspects more than others.
And there's gonna be fighters in that game pretty soonish, right?
Correct. They are correct. They are adding proper space carriers.
Oh, good.
OG.
Oh, good.
And if I'm guessing correctly, you can customize these fighters as much as you can customize just one missile in the game.
Well, we'll see it when it comes out, because right now the answer is possibly, sort of, maybe. We'll see how it goes when the thing actually gets added.
Interesting.
Hey, Thorsten, you're on Discord. Is your phone working? And David, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, like Jacob said, it's kind of tough to really point out just one game. But if I were to pick one right off the top of my head right now, it would be probably good old Tyrion 2000 or something like that for good old DOS. So
Wait, which one?
Tyrion, the top-down
Tyrion.
space shooter. Yeah,
Yes.
Tyrion.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, some people prefer Raptor or Call of the Shadows, and that's a.
I
fair
mean, they're both
comparison, right?
great.
So
They're both great.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're also fairly similar, but they do feel a bit different. But
and if I may say it, I have longed for something just properly similar, not a Danmaku or however you say it, top-down shooter where you die in one hit. I want to have a life bar, dang it.
yeah, well, there are a lot of top-down shooters at this point. But I mean, it's hard to chase that dragon, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad your phone is working at least, Thorsten. You guys want to have Thorsten join us via chat? Like maybe he can answer the question.
We can answer. We can read out his answers.
Thorsten, what's your favorite game? Answer from the chat. And while we're waiting for his answer, I will spin the next thing. Yeah, this Wheel of Names thing is great because now it just removed the one we already did. So now I'll spin again and it won't come up again.
Honestly, this feels like we're just doing a quick fire round. Like, here's a bunch of topics we can answer in like 6 minutes each.
That's basically what we're doing.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing. Yeah, it's
10 minutes down.
all right. What's the next one? Come on. Are there any games you're really bad at? Oh God, so many. So many. I am terrible at Minecraft. I am awful at Minecraft. I am terrible at any kind of brawler game that requires you to either dodge or block. Oh God, no. I can't do that. I don't have the timing. I don't have chess. It's funny.
That is a game.
It's funny. Side note: I just saw an episode of Bluey where the dad tried to teach the kids chess, and it was really adorable. If you haven't seen Bluey, by the way, you guys should. So for me, it's games like Minecraft, Brawler. Like I never got into the Batman games, for example, like Arkham and whatnot, because they're brawlers where you're like dodge, block, blah. I can't do that. I just can't do it. Thorsten's favorite game is Elite, the original Elite. Backtracking a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, there are several games I am terrible at. That's why I don't play like Dark Souls and stuff like that, because those kind of games, their whole thing is timing, and I am terrible at that. Just absolutely awful. Whenever I see Souls, I'm like, nope, nope. I just can't do it. Julie, what about you? Are there any games you are really bad at?
Well, first, I wanted to explain the list a little bit. The deal is,
Mhm.
on the other podcast, which I won't go into, but we have a couple of co-hosts that are extremely verbose. And if you've ever listened to the other podcast, all I have to do is look at one of them who has been on the show before, named Chris, and just say, Chris, go. You could spin this wheel and you talk for an hour and a half about any one of these subjects,
Mhm.
which is he's like a content generator. Now, as for something I'm no good at, anything that's Dark Souls or like Dark Souls,
Yeah.
I do not have the patience for learning how to swing right at
Oh man.
2.1 seconds into the fight.
The
Uh,
worst was you ever play Die by the Sword? It was a
no, I don't think I
oh,
have.
okay, it was like that. It was like left button for your left arm, right button for your it was like really detailed sorting, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I really can't. I want to do this, but I can't do it.
The
Uh
other thing,
yeah.
well, go ahead.
No,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
was going to say the other thing is now, depending on what part of the game it is EVE Online. I love the industrial part of the game. I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
But I was in, and people say, oh, well, when you're one of these sites that, no, I was in a nullsec PvP corporation and I despise PvP and I'm no good at it. I just PvP in space games. I'm really good at PvP on the ground. Uh, but the latest game I'm no good at, and I have learned to despise, is Star Trucker, because trying to control this thing is, and at first I thought it was me, but it's not. It's like trying to push an elephant across the rug on its nose. It's hard, even with the really good Xbox controller, to get the thing go stop to get it to go forward properly. And plus, if you're not used to the setup, if you play a lot of mmos like I have in the past, it's like point and press W and it goes forward. In this case, you can do something with your controller and it's all it's going to do is look around. And so if you're used to No Man's Sky, also you're used to the ship goes where you point it and hold it. No, this will just won't do anything if you point. So it's the problem is it's not like any other space game I've played, but if you've played a lot of flying games like in jets or planes, then you probably do well at it. But I have played few flying in the atmosphere games, just a lot of outer space games, a lot of X4, things like that. So until they do something, I'm no good at Star Trucker. And please, dear God, put in a point and the truck goes where the mouse is pointed. Please, please, please.
Orston is saying brawlers and puzzle games. Yeah, I'm not great at puzzle games either, unless it's something like Tetris. Tetris
So
is like
I'm noticing a pattern in this chat,
Me too.
and that is that we're all apparently garbage at fighting games.
Yeah, apparently.
Now, and honestly, no, I 100%, I second, third, and fourth that notion. I am abysmal at fighting games. I have a friend, I have two friends actually, who keep trying to get me into fighting games. I played the newest Guilty Gear. I've played Grand Blue. I played Tekken. I am abysmal at every single one of them.
Yeah,
you point a gun to my head, tell me to do a quarter circle, just pull the trigger. I'm not doing it.
Well, see, there's a difference in my case. I have played before I got tired of all the little, open this little wish box so that you can waste your last paycheck. I was really good at the outer space flying part of the Star Wars Battlefront, but really bad at the ground. But ironically, where I wasn't bad at the ground, and this is because I had a character that was a hunter, and you can set a hunter up in World of Warcraft like a sniper. And in the 40 versus 40 battlegrounds, it would be a lot like the Revolutionary War, where you'd have the colonists shooting from the trees and the other side marching down the middle of the field. And so that I was really good at, and you used to have to fight all the time to hold your rank, and that PvP I was good at. But like one-on-one, here's a sword, a gladiator arena, no.
David, what about you?
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, but yeah, it's gonna be in similar veins here with fighting games. But God, I wish I understood those games. I really wish I.
I've only liked one fighting game, and it was remember Darkstalkers? I think they were called.
Oh yeah,
the one with like Dracula and the Mummy and the Wolfman. Yeah, I love that one because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think also that one was a little bit more approachable or something like that.
Yeah, it was because it didn't have the pull back, hit A and do a half turn of your joystick to do a certain move. Like I can't remember any of that shit.
You ask me to do a quarter circle, just shoot me. It'll be less painful.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's also why I have had my eyes on Street Fighter 6 for the longest time, because they have added the modern gaming input or whatever that simplifies all commands or whatever.
I hear
which
that. No, I was going to say, I hear that Street Fighter 6 is actually a really great game, even if you're not into fighting games.
Yeah, so yeah, I know it's on sale probably still, but I'll continue to keep my eyes on it. So, but I appreciate that the developers have realized that, people suck at fighting games and they still want to have a chance at them. Maybe we should do something, maybe make them a little bit more approachable. So yeah, thank you, Capcom.
God, I remember when arcades were still a thing, and I would go and watch these guys like play Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, like almost like competitively. Like they'd have like weekly tournaments and shit at some of the local arcades. And the way these people played like Street Fighter is like, how are you doing that? I don't understand.
And also to build off Forsen here with puzzle games. Yeah, puzzle games.
Oh god.
Do you mean automation games? No. So Satisfactory was released kind of recently.
Wait, what was?
So Satisfactory. It's
Satisfactory.
Swedish.
Right.
Satisfactory. A Swedish automation game in the first-person perspective, which I really, really like. So my cousin and his friends set up their own server, and I introduced them to how the game functions and stuff. And I think after maybe one session, they were past the point I were in my single-player game, and they just learned everything right away. So when I came back the day after, I was like, I don't know what I can do in this factory anymore. It's fully set up, everything's being built, and what am I doing here?
That is something worth mentioning. I played a lot of Factorio, still do.
Oh,
because it's really good.
Yeah.
But I do believe those types of games are best learned at your own pace, possibly with a guide. Not with other people doing stuff for you.
That's another type of game I'm bad at, is like Factorio and that sort of thing. Like I looked at the trailer for Satisfactory and I started crying. Because I'm like, my brain, I can't do this. I can't.
Honestly, I don't blame you. Now, I massively enjoy it, but you know how I am.
Embrace spaghetti.
God, I have become the finest pasta chef in the entire continent in my time playing Factorio. I have done belt weaving you people wouldn't believe. I'm seeing green circuits on fire off the shoulder of Orion. Okay,
fantastic, great Blade Run reference suddenly. Amazing, Jacob. Amazing.
So Chris is saying he has a friend who was unbeatable at Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo. You mean with a D-pad? Holy crap! That's impressive.
Actually, fighting games are better played on the D-pad or even on like arrows, because you want precise inputs and not the stick going between, like, claiming that you're like 3 degrees offset to the top, so you're now doing a whole entire jump.
Remember that quarter circle movement? Yeah.
Oh.
It hurts!
I would have thought that'd make it more difficult, but I see what you're saying.
No, it is precisely because you want the precise inputs and you want to theoretically be able to control every single button press you can make. And know where it's going and know what you're inputting into the computer and all that. In theory, in practice, I still can't do a quarter circle to save my life.
That just sounds exhausting. Like, I already have a job. This sounds like a job. This sounds like work.
I'm not going to pretend I can explain the logic of fighting game players to you, because I cannot. And when I can't, when I can't explain someone's insanity, then their insanity must truly be pretty high up.
Wow. So apparently we're all bad at fighting games. That's the thing.
Yes, that's apparently what we've established.
All right. Well, that's good. Let's see what our next topic is. I don't know about you, but I'm having fun with this.
It's good, pretty good so far.
What's your favorite villain from a video game and why? Oh,
that's a tough one.
Take it away, Ryan.
The first one that comes to mind. What was his name from Borderlands 2? Handsome Jim or whatever?
Handsome Jack?
Handsome Jack. Yeah, he was a fabulous villain. He just cracked me up incessantly. I found him so funny. Oh my God, he was such a campy delight. I mean, that whole game was a campy delight, really. But man, that villain, oh my God, just killed me. Just absolutely wrecked me from beginning to end. Just fantastic.
They really created a villain that you really love to hate.
Oh yeah, so good. That's the first one that comes to my mind. Is the handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. What about you guys, Julie? Do you have a favorite villain?
Well, yes, and not just because of the video game, but any iteration of Darth Vader. Despite the fact that I really love who played him, God rest his soul, his voice, but. Because even though, seasons is in just about every Star Wars game, but like if he's in Lego Star Wars, he's just a Lego character. But the background of the character, the way it's written, it's an understandable villain if you've kind of a Star Wars addict like I am. So it's not like Snidely Whiplash twirling a mustache. You can kind of understand how he got that way, and you say to yourself, sometimes you'd say to yourself, "Yeah, I'd probably do the same damn thing if I had the ability." So I think that's any version of Darth Vader is my favorite villain.
Okay, he's a great villain, legendary. Jacob, do you have one?
Well, define villain.
I know. Every villain thinks they're the hero. I guess bad guy, antagonist.
Fair, because I mean, okay. I can give the obvious answer and go Vaas from Far Cry 3 because it's Vaas from Far Cry 3. That one does not need an introduction, does not need an explanation.
I've only played
the same things over and over again.
I've only played 20 minutes of Far Cry 3 because I hated your character that you played. I couldn't stand him. But I agree with you about that guy, Vaas. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, Vaas, brilliant. Insane, but infinitely quotable and extremely charismatic. That is the obvious answer, and I'm thinking of what some less obvious answers would be.
That's fine. Do you want me to ask David and come back to you?
Sure.
David, do you have one?
I
know it's
tough. Is it
tough.
fine to spoil Mass Effect 1 to 3?
That's good. I'm gonna have the same issue now that I've come up with an idea.
Okay.
Go ahead because it's been out for a decade now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was looking at it real quick here that Steam at least this is coming from 2008. So
yeah, it's been out long enough.
It's been out a while. Most people should probably have played it at this point. If you haven't played the Legendary Edition, do it. Yes, do it. And I don't know. There's no timestamps here I can mark here. It's not a video, this one. So, yeah, we can't do it in post. But that's going to be Saren, absolutely, from Mass Effect 1. And what he strived for, what people are theorizing for the synthesis ending in Mass Effect 3, that he just wanted machines and organics to go along. And, yeah, of course, he absolutely didn't do the right things in the first game, and yeah, he was kind of screwed by the freaking Reapers themselves. So yeah, I don't know how I can talk about more than that about him, but I really appreciated his quips with Shepard, trying to stop Shepard. Aha! I'm always a step ahead of you, or whatever. And then you figure out that, he just wants us to coexist.
Was that character in 2 and 3? Because I only played 2 and 3, and I don't remember.
He was only in the very first game.
Oh, that's why.
He was only in game 1. He is in fact the final boss of game 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
but
someday.
Basically, whatever he was trying to do in Mass Effect 1, for at least the ending in that game, stretches all the way to the very end of Mass Effect 3. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe someday I'll go back and play the first game. Apparently, the Legendary Edition made it a little less tedious.
It's still gonna be fiddly. It's Mass Effect 1.
Yeah. Maybe if I ever am able to retire and have plenty of time in my hands. So Thorsten has said Handsome Jack was also his pick. Jacob, did you think of a less obvious answer?
Yes,
Okay.
and it also requires spoilers
Okay.
to Jedi Survivor, I believe it was.
Okay.
Ooh.
So big spoilers for Jedi Survivor, which is a solid game. That game, well, because you say villain as defined as antagonist. It has a personal favorite of mine. It's not necessarily the best villain, but it's the most interesting one I could think of. Long story short, it's a Star Wars game. We all know the rough drill. You play as a survivor of the Jedi Purge, number 1857 at this point. But but you learn sort of basically towards the epilogue of the game that one of the people you've worked for, one of the people whom you have trusted for the whole game is in fact an Imperial spy.
Oh,
damn.
Which is a problem. But that's not the reason why he's interesting, because Imperial spies are plenty, but they're plentiful. But the reason why I find him interesting is because, well, put bluntly, his let's call it his motivation and his philosophy is, well, shown off pretty clearly. Put bluntly, he was in fact also a Jedi, and also in the slap in the middle of Order 66. And the Empire gave him a deal: work for us or get shot. Which he took. He made so instead of getting shot, he took that deal and continued working for the Empire. He apparently somehow in the meantime raised an entire family, and then he had a daughter. Said daughter was captured and interred at an Imperial prison to keep him working for the Empire. And it's a delightful story about. It's not okay. Let me put it this way. My favorite antagonist in Jedi Survivor is not that character. It is the Empire. It is the Empire and what it did to that character to turn the spy in question into a villain, and how the game actually depicts the sort of methods that mad authoritarian governments use to keep people in line, and how they turn good people into tools by, you know, taking away and holding hostage the things they care about and care for. I tried to be as vague as possible, but
Really interesting. So I understand if you had to twist and stuff. So
at some point, I'll play those games.
but those are also a little bit soulsy, right?
ish, but they're not difficult. It's more that the gameplay is sort of in some ways, but they're not necessarily Souls difficulty, and also they have an adjustable difficulty.
Oh, that's nice.
You can't just put them on easy and honestly breeze through them.
Oh, good. That's what I would do.
Imagine difficulty settings.
I love difficult.
Yes.
I love a good set of difficulty settings. I do love a good set of difficulty settings. All right. That was a good one. Next. Spinny.
Spin.
Oh. What was the first game you ever remember playing? Well, for me, it was Pong. Back in, I think it was 3 or 4 when we got that. And that was the only game. I don't know if you all know this. That was the only game that played. It was the second home video game machine after the Magnavox, whatever it was. What was that thing? Anyway, Magnavox had a little game machine in 1972, believe it or not. But then in 1976, Atari released Pong, and that's all it played was Pong. But video games were one of the first things my family realized would calm me the fuck down, because I was a little terror as a child. And so they got Pong. They got Pong, and I was like in front of the TV just all the time playing Pong. Until we got an Atari 2600 a couple years later. But yeah, for me it was Pong. Way back. Julie, what about you?
Pong and then Zork.
Pong and then Zork? Oh yeah. Go way back. There's a mailbox. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's when you go back far enough to when I was in high school and gasoline was like 30 cents a gallon, and cars had 426 cubic inch engines. I had one. And there was no such thing as the internet. Your choices are very limited. And when someone comes home with something named Pong, with something called Pong, it's like, oh my God, it's a game and it's on the television. We don't have to play Monopoly. All right. And now
huzzah!
Fucking
you turn
Monopoly.
on some of those.
Monopoly.
But now it's an example of some of those games that's like, oh my God, how was I ever interested in this? And there's a lot of old games that are like that. But the first game that was over the internet that really interested me in online games was World of Warcraft, and all of a sudden I can't remember the predecessor. That had Britannia in it.
Ultima Online.
Ultima Online. But it was like a sandbox, and the first time I walked into Britannia and I said, okay, there was no quest or anything. I said, well, what do I do now? So I said, what do you want to do? I said, what do you mean? Isn't there like a quest or something? Or like you see a mailbox, do you open it? But it was nothing. And if it weren't for somebody who took me in hand and said, here, let me show you around, I'd still be there trying to figure out what to do.
Thorsten says the original Space Invaders and Pong on a neighbor's VCS, which is another term for the 2600. I think it was called the VCS overseas from here, but here it was called the 2600. His first computer game was Impossible Mission on a C64. Not his C60. I've heard of that one. Jacob, do you remember the first game you remember playing?
Well, hard to say. It's gonna be a slightly weird one. There was a platformer called Croc. It released in 1997 on the PC and a bunch of other stuff. I remember that I played it, and I don't remember anything else about it except that it was like a Banjo-Kazooie ripoff with a green crocodile as the protagonist. That's it.
Croc.
Sounds familiar.
Yes. Full title: Croc Legend of the Gobos, apparently.
Oh yeah. I now that I'm looking at it on Moby Games here, now I'm looking at Moby Games here, I do recognize this cover art.
Oh yeah.
I do remember seeing this in the store back in the day. I never played it, but I do remember it. I do remember seeing it.
I feel old when I'm looking at that box art.
You get used to
It's a
it.
scary feeling.
When did this come out?
1997.
Ah. So at least a year or two into the PlayStation's lifespan. The mid to late 90s, I'll tell you what.
So many technological advancements during that time frame. It's crazy.
I try and tell younger people who didn't really experience it just how transformative that whole decade was. Just like we're still reaping the benefits of what happened in that decade. All right. Good.
I was just going to say Croc is still alive and well on Switch, and if you have the basic subscription model, which I do, you don't have to pay a nickel. Just kind of other than your annual subscription.
Oh, really?
It's there on the.
They have it emulated? That's pretty cool.
They do. If you pay the basic subscription or the premium subscription, it has emulators built into the Switch.
Yeah, funky. Download. I don't have a Switch, so that's not helpful.
It's a subscription service. You pay like $60 a year. It's pretty worth it.
The advanced one, yeah. I just pay the basic one so I can play some of my online games with my European pals.
Yeah, it's how they squeeze money out of you, but it's a worthwhile service if you play your Switch enough and you can afford it, I think.
My pick?
Yeah, David. Yeah, go ahead. Do you remember?
If I may. I don't know. I don't remember what the first, electronic game or video game or video game was that I play. But I know I have a Nintendo entertainment system here at home. So I must have played something on that, but I don't remember the first game. But I know I've gone over what my first PC game were. So let me try to focus here my vocal cords and see if I get the name right. The first PC game I played was Doom 1, not Dune.
DOOM.
Yeah.
I was
probably too young to play it.
I bet you that was a lot of people's first PC game because it was such a cultural milestone that I remember people, because I've been playing computer games for years and I was in college when Doom came out. And I remember people ask me about what PC to buy because they wanted to play Doom. Like I know so many people who bought their first PC because of Doom.
And nowadays you can play Doom on your freaking refrigerator.
Refrigerator. You can. There's probably a version of Doom for Alexa. Amazon.
Hang on.
Oh no, Jacob's doing his research.
If they had Skyrim for the Alexa, they probably.
No, someone managed it. Someone managed to run Doom on an Echo 5.
Amazing.
What's an Echo 5? Is that a calculator?
It's an Alexa thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
At least I presume. I don't
you're
know
right.
what an Alexa is. I don't think they're available in this country, and I'm glad for that.
It's Amazon's thing. It's Amazon's.
Right. It's like the Amazon virtual assistant thing because people played Halo and really wanted off-brand Cortana.
And if you're really interested, I was curious. There is an article on YouTube that tells how to run Doom on your calculator. You really can.
Did we cover Thorsten's pick?
Thorsten's for
first game.
Yeah, we did. Space Invaders and Impossible Mission. Yeah, we got his. Okay.
All right.
Next. Got 40 minutes out of this already, you guys. This is amazing. Which video game character is your favorite? Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. For me, it's Stephen Heck from Alpha Protocol. I love him so much. The first time you meet him, and he's making a guy. he talks about how he made a guy drink bleach for calling him Steve. Just and he's torturing a guy because he can't find his keys. And then he finds his keys. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, buddy." Voiced by the impeccable Nolan North, I believe. Just, I love that guy so much. I want him in every game. Like every game I'm in, I want Stephen Heck in there somehow. I don't know how. I don't make it happen. Developers, put Stephen Heck in Taxionaut. I don't know how you do that, but do it. But Stephen Heck from Alpha Protocol, just wonderfully written, wonderfully acted, and one of the endings you get to go away and become a spy with him, and that was my first ending, and that made me very happy. So yeah, Stephen Heck from Alpha Protocol is absolutely my favorite video game character of all time. Julie, do you have one?
Yes, I do. And it's kind of a toss-up between the two things. The first would be Commander Shepard, and the other would be V. And I kind of closely relate with V, and
yeah, V is great.
I won't get into too many spoilers, but depending on which ending you choose, yeah, the protagonist has another thing coming if he thinks I'm going to go along with that.
Wait, are you talking about Phantom Liberty? Or are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the main game.
Okay,
the main game, and I don't care how much I like the actor who plays him, but yeah, Commander Shepard and V are my two favorites. I think
those are great picks. Yeah, I've played both. Have you played male and female V? Or
I have not. I have played just the female V. And,
that's the better one. That's the better one. I was
surprised at how. I was surprised at some of the things that you can do in your pastime in that game. And I said, come on, they wouldn't put this in a game. Oh, yes, they put that in a game. So it's like, wow, I'm really surprised. And I stole a lot of cars in that game as well. And I engaged in a lot of nefarious activities.
Now, I'm going to chime in with something funny because my choice was Johnny Silverhand.
Hey!
Look.
Great.
Terrific. I'm enjoying this format. We're doing this more often. This is great. This kind of back and forth. This is great.
I don't think I need to explain myself too much if you've actually played Cyberpunk 2077. It's Johnny bloody Silverhand.
I got to admit, I love Johnny Silver. I hated him at first, but I think that's the point, and
that's everyone. Yeah. Look, he's stuck in your brain. You take some getting used to.
Yeah, but I love Johnny Silverhand. He was great. He's absolutely great.
I don't mind Keanu Reeves being stuck in my brain. That's okay. Where do I sign up for that one?
Well, that's also true. It is Keanu Reeves being stuck in your head, so it's hard to find the downside here.
It's like can't get to sleep at night like I can't most nights. I said, hey Keanu, sing me a song, will you please?
He'll be very grumpy about it, but he will.
Oh man. Johnny Silverhand is great. His whole arc through that game was terrific, and how they fit him into Phantom Protocol too. Also,
Phantom Liberty,
excuse me, was great. Like I wasn't sure how they were going to slot him in there, but they did a great job.
Yeah, exceptional. In fact, I would argue he's better there than in the base game.
Oh, 100%.
Because that whole thing is just better than the base game.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, you kind of add Idris Elba to a thing, and it elevates it. You know what I mean? So.
Yes. But you have Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves in one room.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that was. God, you guys are making me want to restart a Cyberpunk game now.
Don't blame you. It's really good.
It's
now.
Amazing.
It took some fix.
Oh no!
I'll be honest. Having played a lot of weird open world games, I don't know if Cyberpunk 2077 was better than people thought it was, or if open world games have just gotten worse recently.
Well,
But
it's tough
dramatically much more enjoyable.
because Ubisoft keeps making basically the same open world game over and over again. And
Okay, admittedly, yeah, the majority of that is just more another Ubisoft copy paste. So,
Yeah,
admittedly, that's part of the problem.
yeah, and they've kind of lowered the bar, I think, for open world games. And as a result, I think what a lot of what Cyberpunk does is brings kind of the bar back up, I think. That's why I think it's one of the better open world games of the last 10 years, I would say.
It's a fresh take, I would say, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I've rarely felt as much of a sense of place as I have in Night City. Like, there are so few games where it's hard to describe, but like just the sense of being there is so distinct.
And it will do its absolute best to make you agree with Johnny, who says it needs a second nuke.
Oh,
I agree with
100%,
Johnny. It needs
100%.
a second nuke.
100,000%.
Sometimes I'd hate to stay.
And then-
But there is a mod out there. I haven't installed it yet, but if I start up 2077 again, I'm going to.
Mhm.
I saw videos of it, and it looks like it could be the streets of the near South Side in Chicago. You can't even tell it from the real world. I thought it was, but nope, it's just a mod.
Wait, it's a mod that makes it.
2077.
It's a mod that makes it look like Chicago.
No, it makes the game look ultra realistic. Looks like it's just that good.
I don't want it to look ultra realistic. I kind of like the cartoonish look of it, but I get that desire. Apparently, it's a great game to really push your new video card if you have one.
Yes, and it does have a surprisingly healthy modding scene.
Yeah. I've noticed the modding scene is pretty good for it. Man, y'all making me want to reinstall this game.
I mean, we're not going to stop you. We're going to encourage it, if anything.
I had so much fun with a knife throwing character at the end of my last run that I want to start with a knife throwing character, but then I know that once I get that damn spider robot battle in in Phantom Liberty, I'm going to be screwed if I'm just throwing fucking knives at it.
With enough power, anything is possible.
I guess
I mean it. I think you can actually kill that thing with throwing knives if you're really good at it.
I'm just imagining the female V just knife, dink, 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 and this giant spider robot. Take a knife.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah, that's true. I think I will reinstall it again. I'm getting the itch after talking about it. Have we gone through everyone?
All
Who did we
right.
miss?
Not me.
Okay, David, go ahead.
So, this segment went longer. Amazing. We're really pushing the limits here today.
I love it.
So, and okay, let's focus on my vocal cords here again and see if I get this correctly. It's going to be J.C. Denton from Deus Ex.
Ah.
And his quips. Oh my god, I love those quips. When you meet Bob Page near the end of the game, who's saying something, oh, I'm going to burn brighter than the brightest star. And J.C. Denton comes back with his very tobacco deep voice. Yeah, you're going to burn, all right. How can he keep a straight face? Hold the whole.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm losing words.
I gotta retry Deus Ex. I gotta retry. I'm never good. I can never get past the first level. I'm that bad at it. Maybe it's another game I'm bad at. I can never get past that first level at the Statue of Liberty or something. I can never get past that first level. I've tried stealthy. I've tried gunny. I've tried going in guns blazing. I never get far, and I don't think I've ever finished it. It's really.
But I freaking love J.C. Denton. He is so crazy.
That game is
that guy should not have a badge. Let's just say that.
I'll tell you though, that game to me is like the epitome of 90s difficulty. You want to think about 90s difficulty? Fair. Deus Ex. I mean, I want to love that game. But damn, I can never get far in it. But I do like that character. You're right. From what little I've seen of him, he is a great character. Oh man. All right. And Oh, Thorsten says all of the characters from Borderlands. I hope you mean the games and not the movie, because the movie apparently was terrible.
Well, apparently they share the characters. They just in the game they're actually good.
It's just a shame because there are a lot of good actors in that movie. All right, here we go. Next thing. What's a really popular game everyone seems to love, but you don't like? Oh, Minecraft. 100%. Can't stand it.
Oh,
Can't fucking stand it. I hate it so much. I tried. I really tried. I need guidance in a game. I can't just have a pure sandbox. And that's kind of the game that taught me that I don't have the patience for a pure sandbox. But so many people love Minecraft, and God, I remember when I was trying to stream full time and this kid kept coming in, I'm assuming it's a kid, and said, play Minecraft like every fucking day. I'm like, no, I will never play Minecraft. I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand Minecraft. So that's my pick. Julie, do you have a pick?
Oh, easy. Oddly enough, I even have it on just about every device that I own, on my phone, on my computer, on my Switch. It's because I tried so hard to like this game, Stardew Valley. And the thing is, and it's because, and I'll admit, I want to like it because it's by one dude, and I'm looking forward to respect so much that he turned this into what it is. And for God's sakes, please finish Haunted Chocolatier. I want to play that game, but also probably on a personal basis, it's like Fran at one point wanted to, when I retire, if ever my retirement plan is, I'll drop over desk. I like my job.
That's American. That's American retirement. Is just working until you die.
That's also, but I really like my job. Why should I quit it? But she wanted to have a bed and breakfast in the countryside, and I said, "You let me know how that works out for you." And the thing is, Elder Star, God rest his soul, Native American elder, wherever he is, he once looked at someone else, and we were having a conversation. He said, "You think I want to go back to living in the teepee on the plains?" And I am only the second generation off the farm, and I saw, growing up when I was knee high to a mutant, the tough life my grandfather had, and I want to like that game so much, and I can't get past the first hour. It's like, here's your crops. And I said, oh my God, the crops, and it's like, oh, enjoy this farm. And it said, oh, shoot me now.
That's why I've never played Animal Crossing. I know a lot of people love those games, but I'm like, I know I'm not going to like this. I just know I'm not.
When I've tried to play this game, I always think of that scene where Dr. Strange first goes to learn how to be Dr. Strange, and he gets this little word on a piece of paper, and he says, "Was this my mantra?" And the guy says, "No, that's the internet password. We're not Neanderthals." So that's it. I can't. I want to like it and can't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Jacob, do you got one?
See, on my end, that one's a bit tough because I can't think of games that I play that quote unquote everyone likes. I can list, mostly because I don't play games that I dislike. Shocking. But games that I like everyone seemed to like, but I didn't. Like, Minecraft is part of it, but I did get into Minecraft 10 years ago, and I played it. I played it a lot and went, okay, I've seen enough. I'm satisfied.
Okay.
I'd have to say Stellaris.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Huzzah.
Suddenly a freaking drawer opened in my room. Yeah, no, Stellaris.
Suddenly Stellaris.
In fact, I'm willing to argue I could extend this to all of these massive Paradox grand strategy games that...
Oh, yeah. I've tried all of them. The Paradox games. I've tried.
Stellaris is a huge mess. It changed genres like 3 different times. It has scope creep out the everything. I've also played Hearts of Iron that everyone seems to love except me, and I find absolutely abysmal.
I've tried every Hearts of Iron, all 4 of them. I've tried every one. Can't do it.
And honestly, the biggest sin of all of these is that they are predominantly single player grand strategies, and every single one of them has the worst AI humanly imaginable. Every single game
not just
put out by Paradox on the Clausewitz engine has just the worst AI.
It's not just AI. It's like they make their games obtuse just to pad out the gameplay. Like they add all these fiddly systems just to be like, ooh, I feel like I'm really running the country. I don't need all this shit.
Like apparently Victoria and Crusader Kings are better, or at least good, and I agree from what little I played of them. Purely because in Crusader Kings you focus on playing a guy who might have a country rather than playing a country, and Victoria embraces the fact that it's a huge nightmare by being an economic simulator, and those I kind of like. But people who don't like really complex economic simulators should just not bother.
Stellaris is an excellent pick. Thorsten also says, he's got issues with farming games as well. David, do you have one?
I have 2, actually.
Go for it.
This one I kind of prepared for because I have actually made a category of these games on Steam. Once again, you can have you can categorize your games on Steam. Right. So I have 2 picks.
Okay.
One that I really wish I understood, and one that I really, really, really didn't get. So I'm gonna take the first one here, and it hurts. It hurts, I gotta say, because the game did struggle. It had a very long development cycle. It has an amazing soundtrack, and that's Brigador. I did not like that game. It was just another roguelike. There was a lot of work that have gone into that game with all the graphics. Like they have baked down 3D models into sprites that have almost 360 degrees of freedom or something like that. It's in the amount of work they put into the game is staggering. It is impressive, but the game wasn't for me. And it has an amazing audio drama you can listen to that comes with the soundtrack.
Yeah,
it has an amazing atmosphere, amazing soundtrack, but I don't like the game.
That's not unfair. I've never made it far in that game because it gets too difficult too quickly.
Yeah, that's the one, Julie.
That's the one, Julie. Yeah, it gets too hard too fast. That's what she said.
Yeah. I mean, you have the 2 different gameplay modes where the campaign are just like standalone missions that have no connection to each other, or the general roguelike mode. I would call it a roguelike mode because, go in, get some money, die, and then go in back again, basically, with some more cash, and you can improve your equipment. So, yeah, that one hurt because I really, really wanted to like that game after all the work the developers put into the game. But after Mandalore Game covered that game, it has gone a new lease on life. So I'm happy for the developers. So, my second pick. I hope we don't have too much younglings here in the audience. I'm not referencing to Order 66 here, Jacob. I mean, it's young people here. But another game that I didn't like at all, so many people said to me, "Oh, you need to try this game." Yeah, okay, fine. I'll try it finally. I played for 20 minutes, and I have never had an inkling to go back to that game. And that's Undertale, of all things.
Undertale?
Yes,
How does that
Undertale.
Does that sound familiar?
A small indie game by the developer of name Toby Fox, which was a complete breakthrough in the 2010s, something like that.
It came out in 2015, so yes. I played it to completion and I loved it.
Yeah, so there we have it. So something I really liked with the game was that, okay, so
I couldn't get into this one either. I tried and it didn't click with me either.
I'm not alone.
No,
I'm
you're
not
not.
alone.
I forgot about it, and then I'm looking at the store page. I'm like, oh yeah, 0.2 hours on record. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you two are on your own there because
Yeah.
I loved it massively.
Oh, I know a
Yeah,
lot of people who
basically-
did. I know a lot of people did. Yeah.
Basically, what was my main irk with the game was that it was a well, I didn't expect it at a time when I got into the game, but it is a Danmaku shoot 'em up without the shoot 'em up, because you're not allowed to shoot 'em up if we're gonna have a pacifistic route at all. So it's just a Danmaku where you're just avoiding bullets, and I played those before, so and I like them. I like Turian, not Danmaku. So, and especially when I'm not able to shoot back, so it's that simple.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. All right, let's do one more. We've gotten an hour out of this. Let's wrap it up with one more. One more. What game did you last complete? Oh, I never complete games. So for me, I guess RoboCop. RoboCop Rogue City, I think, was the last game I legitimately finished. Finished it twice because I loved it so much. First time I ever did a new game plus mode. But as soon as I finished it, I'm like, I want to do that again, but with all the benefits of all the stuff I've got. And my upgraded Auto 9. But yeah, that was the last game I finished, was RoboCop. Still contender for game of the year, in my opinion. Oh my God, so good. I think it's on sale right now. If y'all haven't played it, just amazing, especially if you love RoboCop. Thorsten, you finished Wild Bastards twice? Holy crap.
That's neat.
Didn't that just come out? Like last week? Damn. Julie, what do you remember what the last game you finished to completion was?
You know, there's a reason why one of my friends calls me our virtual tourists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever finished a game completely.
There's gotta be one. Gotta be one, right?
The closest I can come. Well, see, I come from a lot of different background in gaming. A lot of the rest of you is I grew up playing MMOs, and so as soon as I was able and had a computer that would run it, I can say I am the only game I have that's a perfect game and got all the achievements on Steam is Ark Survival Evolved. And the only reason I quit playing it is because half of the group I was involved in say, oh, let's go have a PvP server. And the other group said, oh, no, let's stay with PvE. And the guy who owned the server said, this is going to split the group up and you'll never play it again. Sure enough. I seem to recall playing the first Mass Effect game to completion, maybe. I was going to play the one where Commander Shepard maybe bites the bullet, and I stopped short of finishing that one on purpose because I got really involved with Commander Shepard, and I really liked the character. And I said, and the people who made the game said, "Well, this is our artistic choice." And I said, Tim, it's me playing the game. No thanks. And I understand from friends now that Commander Shepard can live, but I almost never finish a game. I am a virtual tourist. I have lots of game on my PC. And I will admit it, I have a very bad case of FOMO when something comes out. I have the first Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, on my Switch, never played it. I've got the Witcher game on my Switch, never played it. I got it because I said, maybe one day I'll want to play it. And sure enough, eventually Nintendo will shut the shop down. So the rule is, if you want a game and it's a Nintendo game, never have a game where you have to reinstall it. So I don't know there's no game that I can seriously ever remember saying credits roll, because I get distracted a lot. It's like I play a game for a while and I said, "Ooh, shiny! Ooh, shiny!" I'm like my dog with a squirrel. So it's like I didn't think I had one.
I like the phrase "virtual tourist." I feel like I am also a virtual tourist in that regard. I'm stealing that phrase.
I was involved with this European group. They got me involved in playing Ark Survival Evolve again, and I really love Disney. And when I was growing up, the thought of going to Disney World, it's like, not a chance in hell. I grew up in a household where you got a new pair of shoes and the nickel size hole got up to a quarter. I could watch the street go by through the floorboards of my dad's car. And then one day when I grew up, I went to go to Disney World, and the first character I met was Tigger, one of my favorite characters. And here I am, a grown adult crying in the rain, and so when they came out with the new Disney game yesterday, I said, "Oh, I don't care about Ark now. I got to play a Disney game." So bought it this morning. Been having fun. Virtual tourist.
Jacob, do you remember the last game you finished?
That one's fairly easy. Space Marine 2.
Okay, how was that?
How was it?
I enjoyed it. How do I say this? The main campaign, it was serviceable if entirely uninspired. It was fun in the cheesy action film way.
Okay.
But there was nothing particularly groundbreaking about it. And it also felt very similar to the first game's campaign, just with noticeably better character writing, but that's it.
Okay.
And of course, there is the co-op mode and the PvP mode, which I technically finished the co-op mode in that it has a story, which I finished, but technically it is one of those Vermintide likes where you have preset missions and you level up your character and you get better gear and so on and so forth.
Okay. All right. Yeah, from what I understand, people have been fairly lukewarm on it. It's it's not great, it's not terrible.
I thought of one, and I remember.
Okay.
I kind of wiped it out of. I remember wiping out of my mind because I said, I got a bad fear of confined spaces, but and yet I played Portal to finish. The cake is not a lie. The cake is real.
That goes on my I'm not good at puzzle games thing. That's why I never got into the Portal games. Way too puzzly for me. David, do you remember the last game you finished?
So that's going to be easy because most of the list of recently played games are all sandboxes, automation games, simulators, and all that stuff, and sandboxes. So there's one here I can see that's not that. So that's going to be Scanner Sunbreak of all things, actually. And there's a pretty good reason why I replayed it. Let me link the store page here.
I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, basically it's a first-person LiDAR cave exploration game. It's very linear and extremely short. And I mean ludicrously short, ridiculously short. When I first finished that game, because this was the second time I've gone through the game, I finished it within the freaking refund timer, and I experienced everything, unlocked everything within 2 hours. So I sat there I can't refund this. No, I'm not refunding this. I can't do it. Am I seriously having this thought right now? So yeah. So yeah. It's right. Yeah, exactly, Jack. It's tough in some spots, especially when you arrive to the Starry Sky, the cavern, where you have to pretty much walk backwards for a solid 2 minutes or something like that until you end up in a cave with lights in the roof and stuff. It's it has a pretty good vibe and stuff. So why did I revisit this game? Because I did pick up another game recently. So I'm just gonna give that a shot here. So hold on.
Okay.
So because I kind of find that whole thing with lighters kind of interesting. I guess that comes from having played Delta V for a bit. So hold on, I'm messing up here. I'm doing horribly with this.
Oh, Alien versus Predator. I never finished that one. That's the old one, right? Are you talking about, Chris, from The Void?
Because some studio have decided to make a horror game, a proper horror game out of Scanner Sombre, which I picked up and I need to try at some point. So basically, you walk around in the dark with the freaking LiDAR. The game does react to your microphone. So when you're trying to hide from a monster, which you can't even see in real time because you need to scan it, and by the time you scan it, it might as well just be right next to you. So yeah, I can actually read up on your microphone, so that's nice. But you can disable that feature. Yeah, exactly. So it tries to make another stressful horror game like Alien Isolation. So yeah. And I really like that LiDAR vision thing in Scanner Sombre. So I was like, oh yeah, I want to revisit that. Oh, this is a horror game. Okay. At some point, I will. So yeah, if suddenly hear nothing from me or something like that, maybe hear a message of me hiding behind my desk or something like that, then you know that I'm probably scared to death or something like that.
All right. Well, we have gotten over an hour out of 7 topics. Not bad. Not bad. We should do this again sometime when we can't think of another thing to think of. I thought this worked out well. But that's going to do it for today, my friends. Tomorrow, for the stream, we're going to be playing a game called God Drop, which just came out a day or two ago. Hopefully that'll be good. And yeah, next week on the show, hopefully everyone will be back. We'll do a check-in just to talk about how we're doing and what we're playing. You know, we try to do one every 6-ish weeks, so it's about time. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out, everyone. Great chat today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please get your shots. Get vaccinated, wear your masks. All this stuff works. Seriously. Pandemic is not over. Nowhere near over. So yeah, thanks always to our patrons who help pay for things like Restream, which is expensive. And yes, don't forget to wear your helmet. We'll see you back here tomorrow, you guys. Have a